My name is Sarah Chin. I'm 33 years old. 6 hours ago, my father texted me, "Don't come to our anniversary party tonight. Your presence would require explanations we'd rather not give. This event is for accomplished professionals, 178 guests, the New York Academy of Medicine." Black tie. Every doctor, researcher, and hospital director my parents had spent 40 years impressing, and I wasn't invited. Not because of a fight, because my existence required explanation. I typed one word back: understood. Then I went to work. I grew up in a house where success had one definition: medical degree, top-tier institution, published research, lives saved. My grandfather founded the cardiology department at Mount Sinai. My father, Dr. Richard Chin, Harvard Medical School 1989, director of cardiac ICU at New York Presbyterian for 23 years. My mother, Dr. Pres. Linda Chin, Columbia, 1991, professor of internal medicine, 68 published papers. My brother Marcus, Columbia Med 2015, youngest chief cardiothoracic surgery resident in the program's history. And then there was me. Nobody ever asked if I wanted to be a doctor. It was assumed, the way some families assume you'll take over the restaurant. I got into Cornell's PhD program in pharmacology. My father threw a dinner party, champagne toasts. Sarah will be the researcher who carries the Chen name into the journals. I was 24. I believed him. By year 3, I was studying heart failure, specifically HFpEF, heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, millions of patients, no real treatment, just diuretics and waiting. I found something, a kinase called MAP4K3. When I inhibited it in mouse models, cardiac stiffness dropped 76%. It wasn't a cure, it was a door. Year 4, I had a choice. Stay at Cornell, publish, wait a decade for someone else to carry it forward, or leave and build it myself. I chose Helix Therapeutics, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Founding scientist, equity stake, the chance to take my data and turn it into medicine. In my family, that wasn't a pivot. That was failure. March 2018. Italian restaurant. White tablecloths. "You're walking away from Cornell," my father said. "Biotech startups fail. 90% never make it past phase 2. 2 more years, and you'll have a degree that opens every door in academia." I don't want academia. I want to help patients. If you join this startup and it fails, you're 30 with no PhD and no path back. I signed the contract the next morning. My parents didn't come to my going away gathering. The first 2 years were brutal, $42,000 salary. Studio apartment with a Craigslist roommate. Our first preclinical trial failed liver toxicity in mice. 6 months of work scrapped. December 2018. We were out of money before our Series A closed. I needed $15,000 to cover expenses for 6 weeks while the wire transferred. I called my father. "Dad, I need a short-term loan. We just closed $32 million in funding. The money's coming, I just need a bridge." Silence. "Elaine, I can't support a failing startup." "It's not failing. I'm sorry. I can't enable this." He hung up. I slept on the office couch for 3 weeks, used the lap shower, ate ramen. Our CEO, Claire, found me there at 6 a.m. and started crying. Not because of the couch, but because she understood. We'd both bet everything. That Thanksgiving, I went home. My father asked how the pharmaceutical thing was going. I told him we'd just closed our Series A $32 million. He nodded, turned to Marcus. "Marcus, tell everyone about the valve case." I sat there with my wine and realized he was never going to ask. That became the pattern. Every holiday, same script. My mother introducing me to colleagues. "This is my daughter, Sarah. She's in the pharmaceutical industry." Sort of. Like I was adjacent to it. Nearby, but not quite. My father's 61st birthday. Family dinner. He gave a toast. "Rachel, you've been my partner for 41 years. Marcus, watching you become a surgeon has been the greatest pride of my life." He paused, looked at me, And Sarah, we're proud you're still trying. It takes courage to keep going. Still trying. Like my career was an endurance test I hadn't passed yet. My mother handed Marcus a Rolex. For all your hard work, she handed me a Barnes & Noble gift card. I excused myself to the bathroom and sat in a stall for 10 minutes. March 2023. Sunday dinner. I'd just gotten our Phase 2 results. 324 patients, 68% response rate. Exceptional for this patient population. I brought a printout. Dad, I wanted to show you something. He looked at the paper. That's good, Sarah. Have you thought about going back to finish your PhD? You're only 2 years away. You could still salvage the credential. Salvage. I picked up the paper. That was the moment I stopped trying to explain. They did not know because I wasn't telling them. They didn't know because they'd stopped asking. By 2023, Helix had moved into Phase 3. Our drug, Veralox, a MAP4K3 inhibitor, targeted the exact pathway I'd found at Cornell. 2,186 patients, 23 medical centers, 18 months of data. January 2025. Results. 89.2% reduction in cardiovascular death or heart failure hospitalization compared to standard care. I stared at the numbers for a full minute. Our CMO Andrew looked at me. Sarah, we did it. I couldn't speak. We submitted to the FDA in August 2025. Priority review granted. PDUFA date set for February 2026, but FDA sometimes approves early. November 28, 2025. The night of my parents' 40th anniversary gala. At 6:46 p.m. in the Helix conference room, our CEO's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. Sarah. The FDA just sent the approval letter. The room went silent. Full approval. No post-market requirements. Veralox is approved. 3 minutes until embargo lifted. Bloomberg. Stat News. The New England Journal. All going live simultaneously. At 6:50 p.m., my phone started vibrating. Bloomberg alert. FDA approves Helix's Veralox for heart failure. First effective HFpF treatment in 2 decades. Lead scientist Sarah Chen calls it validation for patients who had no options. LinkedIn, 8,000 notifications in 2 minutes. Twitter, number Veralox trending. I wasn't thinking about any of it. I was thinking about a ballroom in New York where 178 cardiologists were pulling out their phones. 6:58 p.m., Marcus called. Sarah, where are you? Cambridge. At the office. The FDA just approved your drug. Everyone here knows. Dad's cardiologist, Dr. Tom Harmon. He just walked up to Dad and said, Richard, this is the drug, the one we've been waiting for. Sarah, Dad didn't know. He had no idea. And now the whole room is asking where you are and his face has gone white. Silence. Please, I know what he said to you, but you need to come. I looked around the conference room. My team celebrating. Champagne. 7 years coming to a close. I'll come, I said, but not because Dad's embarrassed. I'm coming because I want to stand in that room as exactly who I am. 215 miles. 3.5 hours on I-95. Light snow, roads clear. At mile marker 120, I turned on a podcast. The Najam Cardiology episode released that day. The host interviewing the lead author of the Veralox Phase 3 trial. Me, recorded 2 weeks earlier. Dr. Chen, what drives you? Past me answered. Patients who were told nothing more we can do. I wanted to give them something. I wanted them to have options. I pulled over on the shoulder of I-95, hazards on, and sat there crying. Not because I was sad, because I'd forgotten. For 7 years, I've been so focused on my family not seeing me that I'd almost stopped seeing myself. 7 years ago, I'd chosen a different path, not to prove my parents wrong, but to prove myself right. I wiped my eyes, got back on the highway. 10:52 p.m., the New York Academy of Medicine. Limestone facade, marble steps, brass doors, lights on in the ballroom. I sat in my car for 3 minutes, checked the mirror. No makeup, hair in a ponytail, navy blazer, wrinkled from the drive, jeans. My Helix badge still clipped in my pocket. Dr. Sarah Chen, Chief Scientific Officer. I didn't want to change. I wanted to walk in exactly as I was, not the daughter they wanted, the scientist I'd become. Nathan was waiting at the door, tuxedo, bow tie loosened, exhausted. His eyes went to my jeans, my badge. You didn't change. No. He nodded. Dad's at table 1. Then let's not keep them waiting. The room was mid-dessert. 156 people. Crystal chandeliers. White tablecloths. I stood in the doorway, and within 12 seconds, 85% of the room had gone quiet. The string quartet trailed off mid-measure. Is that her? That's Sarah Chen. She drove from Cambridge. That's the one who invented Verilox. I walked. Table 18. Table 14. A cardiologist at table 12 stood, extended his hand. Dr. Chen, congratulations. I shook it, kept walking. Table 1. My father stood 3 feet away. I waited for him to speak first. Sarah. His voice was rough. You came. You told me not to. Silence. I didn't know about the approval. About Verilox. About you didn't know because you never asked. I kept my voice calm. I stopped trying to tell you in 2019. You made it clear my work wasn't worth your time. My father opened his mouth, closed it. Dad, do you know what Math 4K3 is? Do you know what HFPEF stands for? Do you know how many patients we enrolled in phase 3? No answers. You're a cardiologist. This is your field. You didn't know because 7 years ago you decided I'd failed, and you stopped seeing me. I paused. Dr. Harmon told you my drug could help you someday. Did he tell you it targets the same pathway that killed Grandpa at 68? That I started this research at Cornell before I left? I left because I wanted to save actual patients, not publish papers that take a decade to reach a hospital. His eyes. Recognition. Grief. I've been trying to save people like you, Dad, for 7 years, and you've been too busy being disappointed to notice. The room was completely silent now, 156 people watching. Finally, his voice broke. I was wrong. He wiped his eyes. I was wrong about you, Sarah. I thought when you left Cornell, you were throwing your life away. But you built something I didn't have the vision to imagine. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I stopped asking. I'm sorry I couldn't see you. Dr. Harmon stood, put a hand on my father's shoulder, then turned to me. Dr. Chen, what your father just said took courage. What you did, building Verilox while the people who should have supported you looked away, that took something else entirely. He extended his hand. I shook it. I didn't stay long. At 11:26 p.m., I said goodbye. Brief hug to my mother. A nod to my father. Outside on the marble steps, Marcus stopped me. I should have defended you years ago. I didn't. I'm sorry. You called me tonight. You could have let me stay away. I was scared you'd say no. I almost did. He looked at me. Elaine, Sarah, you're braver than I'll ever be. I smiled. First real smile in hours. I love you, Marcus. I love you too. The drive back to Cambridge was quiet. No music, just me, the highway, the snow. I thought about my father's voice. I was wrong. I thought about 83 patients now on Verilox nationwide, people who'd been told nothing more we can do. I thought about a 71-year-old woman in Cleveland starting treatment January 10th. And I realized I didn't need my family to validate me anymore. That had already come from the FDA, from patients, from my peers. My family could join my world now. But they didn't define it. That was the difference. My name is Sarah Chen. I'm 33 years old. 7 years ago, I walked away from the path my family wanted, and I built the one that saved lives, including, maybe, someday my father's.